Today, I want to work on escaping the mount. So Paul, if you wouldn't mind, start off by mounting me.
You want a high mount, sir? Or?
Yeah, actually, right now it doesn't matter, really. I just want to talk about basics of mount defense, right? Once we've been mounted, we're in pretty much the second worst position, in my opinion, in Jiu-Jitsu, is being mounted. The worst being when your back is taken. But when we're mounted, we're very vulnerable. So we need to learn first before we escape to survive. Because if you get submitted right away, right, this escape is never going to even, you're never going to have a chance to escape. So once you get mounted, I don't want your elbows wide. We always want our elbows tucked, right?
Yes, sir.
Boom, here. I don't want to extend my arms either. That'll give them an arm bar. Boom, kind of look, think about a mummy to start. Boom. Then I take one hand, this thumb goes into the collar like this. Now, anytime he tries to attack my neck from either side, it's cut off, and I still have an arm to use to help me start to set up my escape. So it doesn't matter really what side you put this in, but the first thing I do when I get mounted is I'm immediately here protecting my neck to give me enough time to set up my escape. So first thing I want to talk about is if the person has a high mount. If they have a high mount, this is bad for you because as their knees get up into your armpits, right, that starts to extend your arms out and makes them vulnerable. It makes it hard for your arms to stay tight to your sides. So what I like to do is, one last thing about general mount, sorry, before I get ahead of myself, is where my feet are at. I see too many people get mounted and then just put their feet down flat like this. I want to be in a nice bridging position with my feet close to my butt, because when I'm mounted, I have to use a lot of hip bumps to manipulate my opponent's weight. So here, on our toes again, and even, I'll start, see how my butt's off the ground? I'm lifting my butt off the ground and driving with my toes. I'm always on my toes, driving weight through my head and shoulder line. That way, try to head wrap me. Try to wrap. Yeah. See? You can't even get under. If I'm here with my butt down, now try to head wrap me. Even when I'm pressing down, you can still get under. But when I lift my hips and drive like this, I'm driving with that hip power through my neck and shoulder line so he can't lift my head. So boom, I'll get in my good defense position. If he gets a high mount, I'm still in my good defense position. I'm gonna use little hip bumps to raise his weight up, and then I shoulder walk back. I don't try to push him back. It's always easier to move myself than it is to move my opponent. So I use little hip bumps to elevate his weight, and then I'll shoulder walk. Boom. You may have to do 10, you may have to do 20. It depends on how good your opponent's mount is. Slowly but surely, work him down all the way until our hip lines are aligned. Once I get him down to my hip line, I can start working on my hip escape. Before I start hip escaping, the first thing I need to set is my frames. When I say frames, I'm talking about my arm pretty much at a 90-degree angle. It's not collapsed on my body, it's extended away a little bit, and it's a frame. It's meant to support his weight. It's not meant to push on his weight, it's meant to support it. So first thing I do is put one frame across his hip line. The next frame goes across his femur here. Boom. Then I connect my hands like this. I typically like putting the femur hand first on the bottom. It really comes down to personal preference, whatever you get as you set your frames. Boom. Here, like this. So actually I'm gonna have you rotate a little bit. So once my frames are in, he's down at my hip line, I get my good frames in. I'm still protecting my neck and stuff because he may be attacking, trying to choke, trying to isolate my arms. Boom. Now what I'm gonna do is I need to get all the way on the side where I have the frame against the leg. In order to do that, if he's got a good mount and he's smothering me, I'm not gonna be able to just roll over onto my side. I need to use these small hip bumps. Boom, in order to get on my side. The reason why I want to get on my side is because when I'm flat on my back, the distance between his hips and the ground is maybe, I don't know, let's say 6 inches. the lower his hips are, the closer they are to the ground, the more weight and pressure he's able to put on me. But as I hip bump, boom, and slowly start to get to my side, you feel how your hips got elevated?
Yes.
So now maybe I went from 6 inches to 9 inches. And that extra 3 inches really matters.
Yes, it does.
So once I have my frames in the hip, frame here, and I'm all the way on my side, the leg, actually, can we rotate a little bit so you see the leg here? This leg on that side that I'm on is gonna go flat. It can't be up in the air or else we're not gonna be able to get it under his leg and be able to hip escape. So this leg has to go flat. Now, depending on your opponent's mount, sometimes you can just frame like this and connect your knee to your elbow. Sometimes you need to give him a little hip bump to get underneath that leg. But whatever we need to do, we need to get under that leg. Usually you're probably gonna have to give him a little bit of hip bump to get under. Once you have this leg under his, all we need to do is connect our knee to our elbow, boom, like this. You can see he's already starting to end up in half guard. In order to secure my half guard, all I need to do is turn my hips. You guys know I'm a big half guard player, and I like playing the underhook from the half guard. So as soon as I turn my hips, I'm already shooting for this underhook to put me in a great position in half guard. So again, from the start, angle here. Actually, I'm gonna back up a little bit. So, have an opponent who's got me mounted. That's a high mount with his knees up high in my armpits. I need to get him down to my waistline, all while still protecting. I can hip bump and shoulder walk until I get to where I want to be. Frame in the hips and on the leg. Now I need to get to this shoulder. That's probably going to require a few hip bumps. Boom. I don't want people to only slightly get on this side. This is the #1 mistake I see. People do one hip bump, kind of get on this side, and then try to hip escape and it doesn't work. I want you all the way on your side. So take as many hip bumps as you need. Now I need to put this leg flat, maybe take another hip bump to get that leg under his, and then I'm connecting my knee to my elbow and immediately turning to secure half guard. Boom. We then, from half guard, even if you don't like half guard as much, and instead of grabbing the underhook here as we hip escape, we can immediately put this foot into the hip and use it to help us turn to get full guard. So that's gonna be player to player preference. Like I said, I like the underhook because I like half guard. Any questions? Thanks, guys.